Dear colleagues, we continue our working day at Ukraine Crisis Media Center, and the topic of the next press briefing is possible causes and orders of the detention by SBU officers of representatives of all Ukrainian movement that is called Under Control, the movement that fights corruption in Mykolaiv Oblast. Our speakers are Oleg Dereniuga, Viktor Taran, and Gleb, Kanevskyi, the activists of the movement. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Thank you for this opportunity to speak, and thank you for attending this press conference. We had some events after noon yesterday, and we made quick announcement of this event to say to you what happened in Mykolaiv. In May this year, the activists from all over Ukraine united to counteract political corruption at local level, because it's not a secret that at the local level corruption is high among local government, and the funds that are misappropriated are billions. So the idea to create this association of movements was implemented, and the activists started to analyze the work of local deputies according to methodology based on current legislation of Ukraine. So we took some laws on public procurement and fighting corruption and access to public information, and a number of other laws. And after we analyzed this, we analyzed the activity of local government. And there are some facts that show that there are corruption instances, and we created such leaflets in which we put the information about what norms are violated by officials and what we are going to do about it. So there are facts of misappropriation of funds, and there are documents signed by officials. We analyzed the period of time, and we created such profiles and opposition block. There are many instances of violation. The next place is by Samopomich, and then other parties, 1 or 2 cases each. We believe that this proactive position of our activists is really needed, and we provide this information to law enforcers in order to start criminal cases. And there are some persecutions against our activist. He was detained by SBU. Oleg will tell you more about it. Starting from spring, I work in the framework of the movement that is called Under Control, and we reveal the facts of corruption. There are many different cases, and I connect this detention and what happened to me in SBU. So I work also as a journalist. It's my professional activity. So I connect this persecution because of my professional activity. I was first interviewed as a witness, but they have the attitude towards me as to the detainee, and they asked that I should give them my phone, and then I signed the claim that I provided it voluntarily. Then I was released, and I complained that I signed the document under pressure because they said that they will send me to some detention facility. So they said that from my phone there was a phone call that there were a lot of people, and someone called from my phone and said that there was that the mine is placed in the square. So there was some, but no one called from my phone. In order to prove this, you can take the information from the operator of mobile services and everything will be established. As I understood, my phone is needed to SBU offices not to verify this information. So the facts of phone call, they are not established in this way. They just want to verify what is in the memory of my phone. I'm the editor of the edition, and I have some communication with different officials. So maybe they searched for information in my phone. And we monitor many facts of smuggling in ports of the oblast, and also the issue of illegal carriers and different videos were provided that the heads of the oblast are involved in some illegal actions, and they make some pressure on us. So I am not sure 100%, but I believe that this is connected with my professional activity and the activity of our edition, because we reveal the instances of corruption. And I address for legal help to international institutions, people's deputies, the media, to general prosecutor, and to the leadership of SBU. They should give legal assessment of these facts, and they should bring to responsibility those people who detained me in SBU yesterday, and I was released without my phone from there. I would like to give the floor to the lawyer. This is Alexei Tkach. So, legally speaking, the person was asked to come to an interview, and then the person was detained. There was an SBU officer. The person has the right to get legal help envisaged by Article 159 of the Constitution, and he said that he needs the lawyer, and they should have provided him with such an opportunity. And by this, they violated his right for legal help. And the Constitution provides that a person, no matter what the status is, if law enforcers are involved, so the person should be provided with legal help. And in my opinion, it was done in order to get under pressure this phone, in order to get information in the phone that is directly connected to professional activity, in order to use this information further. In this case, for Mykolaiv Oblast, this is their normal practice. When they ask person to come as a witness, then they make pressure on the person in order to get information they need. So this is all I wanted to say. We will sum up and then we will answer your questions. We believe that this fact, it shows three things. Firstly, that the activists that fight corruption at local level, they really got some important information about some people that are involved in corruption, and that's why they secondly, the role of law enforcers is not identified. Maybe it was a provocation, or maybe there was a phone call to them that maybe someone called through the phone of our colleague. So we believe that SBU will carry out internal investigation and will provide information what has really happened. And if there were some violations, so those who are guilty should be punished. And also we sent complaints to law enforcement bodies. We spoke with several people's deputies, with Victoria Sumar, and she sent a deputy request to SBU, and we are preparing the complaint to prosecutor's office and other institutions. And we believe that after the revolution of dignity, Ukraine deserves that at local level, people who want to build new Ukraine, they should have mechanisms and opportunities to fight corruption if they want to fight it. And they should have cooperation, and no one can prevent this, neither law enforcers nor power. Thank you, dear colleagues. Do you have questions? Please introduce yourself first. Petro Hiluk Union. Question to Oleg and Alexei. Question to Oleg. Whom do you suspect? Who could order these services of SBU to take your phone? Maybe this is businessman or a representative of local power. And a question to Alexei. Is there really a criminal proceeding on this phone call? Because maybe they know who can make this phone call. I cannot name people whom I suspect of doing so, because I do not have facts to prove it. But what facts I have, at 4:30 or 5 p.m. yesterday, Mykolaiv called me. He is the SBU officer on communication. He asked me to come to the office, that he wanted to show something to me. And we communicated with him because in 2014, spring 2014, when there was separatism, all the regional media cooperated. We shared the information about the meetings and other events. That's why I trusted him. I said, yes, Koля, I come. And then they detained me for 4 hours, and they just attracted me by this. And the first person I was speaking to, I do not know his name, but he said that he is deputy head of counteracting terrorism department of SBU. And there were no names mentioned, so he just stated that his position, not his name. And I cannot mention, we know a lot of people from different areas. We work with them. If you look at those scandals that were recently in Mykolaiv Oblast, especially involving some criminal cases and also some activity of deputies about some smuggling in the region. So these can be the main. Maybe I would, as an independent person, I do not blame anyone at the moment. I cannot do this. As to criminal proceedings, Oleg said that he was shown the document that the criminal case was started. But the situation is like this. He didn't have the representative that has legal education who can study this document and to say whether it is done correctly. They could show any document in order to intimidate him and to motivate him to provide information. That's why they violated the right for legal help, and Oleg cannot tell whether this document is legitimate. I would like to add that during this interview and my detention there, I asked several times to give me the document or the evidence that my phone is in the facts that someone really phoned from this phone. So they said that they have some Ukrtelecom answer, and they provided me with a photo picture where my phone number was written and the time of the phone call, that there is some handwritten paper, and I wasn't shown anything else, so I'm not sure whether there really was a phone call. And the last information the investigation say about is there is press release of SBU in the morning that I didn't phone, but my device was someone. Some unidentified person intervened in the activity of my device, but I know the code of this device. No one else knows. Maybe there was some intervention in the activity of your phone. Yes, this morning they said that the press service of SBU said that maybe this was not me who called, but some people interfered in the activity of this device. But the number, for example, or some document, no. They didn't provide me with any document. There is no criminal proceeding. And that what we stated today, that we want to have independent investigation of these facts, and it should establish whether they made some violations. So I didn't know, maybe there was a fact of intervention, and there should be objective, independent investigation of the fact. So we insist on this. Please introduce yourself. Lyubov Velichka, Text.org UA. I have several questions. So, the first question, do you have smartphone or just a simple phone? Yes, I have an iPhone. I attended different training on security of information, and they said that they can interfere in the activity of the device and do everything with this. In your opinion, what should be the activity, the actions of SBU offices? What can they do if they saw that there was a phone call from this number? And do you believe that they will do something with your phone, or will they extract some contacts, or they will read your messages, or maybe you can be introduced in some database of SBU? What are you afraid of this? And the one provocative question. In the course of preparation to the press conference, I got information that you have been seen with the criminal authority named Mikhailo Titov. Maybe SBU officers saw you with him, and that's why they detained you on the pretext of this telephone. Oh, this is just lie. So I will answer the last question. I am a journalist, and I communicate with everyone. And several months ago, after the information was provided, and this criminal person that was in the media, I sent a message to him about that I wanted to get comment from him. And we met. He refused to provide comments. He said that he is not guilty and he do not have relationship with opposition bloc. This was 2 months ago after the event, so I don't think that they would wait for the Independence Day to get my phone and to detain me. Moreover, in these circumstances. Also, I believe that SBU should take decision of the court from my operator, to get information from my operator where I phoned. So they should bring me to responsibility, but SBU should print and publish my phone calls, but they didn't provide this information. They just accused me in words, and I see that they just wanted to get my phone in order to get information with whom I communicate to audio materials and documents that are stored there. So I believe this is true. And what was the second question of yours? These audio materials, I speak about a scandal in Mykolaiv. Someone recorded them, so I believe that it was done by special services officers. And if audio materials were in the media, on the internet, maybe also my post emails can be also available. I have nothing to hide, but I have sources and I do not have information and I do not want to reveal them. There is no anything criminal. I cannot even imagine this. I cannot understand the actions of SBU. I believe that they were used in some sort of provocation, or they just make a mistake. They do not understand the context, that they shouldn't just detain the journalist and believe that this is right. So they shouldn't do this. So they cannot just force the person to write the claim that I provided the phone to them voluntarily just to take this phone and release me after this. So I hope that my lawyers will take my phone and give it back to me, and maybe there will be some positive outcome and they will give this phone to me. Good afternoon. Yulia Kosmatenko. If you were an SBU officer, what would you do? I would adhere to the law. So what they did, they didn't follow the procedure. They detained the journalist, so they should have invited the lawyer, and they shouldn't intimidate the journalist. And they shouldn't just speak for 1.5 hours about that the phone call was made from my device. So the person said that he is the deputy head of the department. So I said, please, I do not understand what we are speaking about. So everything should be done according to law. And maybe the head of this unit should have reacted. Maybe this should be done through the court, not just in the room without any lawyer. The operative workers just read the information from my device. I didn't know what they did with it. Maybe they sent something from this. This is confidential information, and I'm a witness. I said, so you cannot accuse me of anything, so I should be provided with the opportunity to leave or to make a phone call. So the representatives of movement that is called Under Control, we see that the work that is carried out by our coalition is effective because those people at local level that are involved in corruption, they are afraid of such honest activists who use all the inventory, all the instruments in the media to reveal the information about corruption. That's why we believe that this is some sort of intimidation. And we are thankful to you that you helped to highlight this information, because it is important to make these things public in order that each time an official that is corrupt at local level, if they want to do something wrong with a journalist, they should remember that they cannot do this, and there will be publicity to these facts, and under the pressure of society and the law enforcers will carry out proper investigations, and if people violated some proceedings, they will be punished. So we address to the law enforcement bodies that they should carry out internal investigation, and we say that we as a movement that fight corruption, we will continue our activity and will inform you about the information we found. Thank you. This was the last press briefing for today, and information about schedule for tomorrow will be on our site after 4 p.m. Thank you.